iTunes. Got a kind of a milestone moment for you two. It's
Yeah.
a pretty big deal to me, and I think we can all go back to our first consoles and see what that was. This past week was my nephew Arlo's birthday, and the family all chipped in together, and we got him a Nintendo Switch for his birthday. And my sister-in-law did
Excellent.
this huge scavenger hunt that led to the big reveal. And I think you all remember I talked about taking him to see his first movie, which was the Mario movie.
Yeah.
That Mario Day Nintendo Switch version that came with like one of the three games is one that we got him. Uh, it was absolutely incredible, and it was one of those like I went back in my history
Mhm.
and got to like recall that. And I like, it's something that my parents obviously can't relate to. They didn't have a first console, they never had their own console. And like me being of the age now to watch kids get that, and Johnny, you can probably speak to this a lot more intimately than I can, but it was something to behold, and it was a really special moment. And he got Luigi's Mansion 3, and he picked Mario Odyssey out of it was Mario Kart, the Wii version of, not the 3D World, but the other one that they brought over.
3D
It's the
Land?
side-scrolling one.
No, yeah, New Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mario Odyssey, and he wanted Mario Odyssey, and
That's
they've been having a lot
choice.
of fun. It's a good choice. He also has been really into Pokemon, as I mentioned, and he had gotten my Pokemon cards. Well, he's been playing a lot of Pokemon Go on my brother's phone, and I ended up gifting him my copy of Let's Go Pikachu, and he's now going to be able to bring those two worlds together on a Switch and all that. So it was just awesome, man. It was really cool.
That's really cool.
I know people kind of shit on the Let's Go games, but I think they looked pretty good.
They looked they ran great.
It ran great, and for a kid, I think that's a fine first Pokemon game.
It is, and the cool thing about it is like he was like really kind of blown away when I was like, hey, it's not the exact same by a long stretch, but this is based off of my first Pokemon game that made me love Pokemon.
Yeah,
and we had like a really cool moment kind of talking about that stuff. So it was just a really cool thing to get to do, and it's been fun to watch him develop this love of gaming, and having a Switch. All of his friends had it, so he's like the last of the party with it, but we got everything all set up. He really, my brother had been playing, he built a RetroPie, and they've been playing through like Nintendo and Super Nintendo Mario games, and then when he found out with the Switch Online service, he can have those games as well, he got really excited and was playing some Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario World. I showed him how to do like the secret paths to get the color switches and stuff.
Yeah,
and
he did.
He was like just fucking losing it over that stuff. So I had a very proud uncle moment on getting to share something I care much about with somebody I love very much, and it was just a really cool fucking thing.
Awesome.
Very cool.
I shit on the Switch a lot, but it has a really good place in time. And
the trash can.
Hey. Well, Johnny beat me to the punch. But I am Bobby. Joining me is Chase and Johnny. How are you two doing?
Doing well.
It is the last day of May, if you can believe it. And you know what that means. Chase has prepared a very special treat for you all. We're going to get into our June preview episode where we're going to go through the games coming out in June. We're going to look back at May and ask if we got it right. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the stuff that we've been playing. So we've got a fun episode. We'll have the trailers playing behind us here in just a little bit. Make yourself cozy, pull up a seat. Let us know in chat if you like what you're seeing, and we'll go from there. With that being said, Chase, what have you been playing on this long weekend that we had?
Yeah, I had big plans of, hey, I need to make more progress in Super Robot Wars 30, a game I still am going to finish someday. I needed to play more of Mutant Year Zero because that was my month of May backlog game, and I'm gonna have to spin this wheel again this month, which means I'm gonna be behind.
The wheel waits for no man, Chase.
And
it's true.
And so I'm guessing you've cleared Mutant Year Zero. You hit credits on that. You got
absolutely.
to the 500th mission in Super Robot Wars 30.
Yeah, absolutely. There has to be less than 500. There's
no.
There's definitely over 100 because I've passed that part, but I don't think there's 500. I'm pretty sure. All those plans kind of got scrapped because what I ended up doing was just playing more Zelda. And when you play an hour of Zelda, what happens is you end up playing 8 hours of Zelda, and then you go, oh fuck, it's 3 a.m. What the fuck is happening?
God damn it.
Yeah, I'll keep it relatively short because I know Bobby finished it, so maybe he'll have a little bit of something else to say. But we've been talking about it for weeks now, so there really doesn't feel like there's much more blood from that stone to wring out.
Oh, but there is a blood moon.
I mean, there is, but at least for our podcast purposes of talking about it.
I mean, I'm still just tickled that you are enjoying a Zelda game as much as you are.
I mean, like I told you today, I'm glad they finally made a good Zelda game. It's nice.
It only took 40 years.
Taken a long time, but we finally got to the point where they could make a good one. I'm kidding, of course. There are a handful of good Zelda games. But yeah, I'm just really liking this one and having lots of fun, just kind of going around and figuring things out. I did feel like I needed to get some real progress done this weekend though. So I finished the third temple, the water temple.
Nice. I'm at the water temple now. Or
okay.
I'm
not gonna spoil anything for you, but I think it's the weakest temple. I mean, I haven't been into the Gerudo one yet, but it was short, it was easy, it was kind of boring, and then the boss fight was also kind of boring.
Hey, if you've played Mario Sunshine, you've played that boss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially
compared to some of the other ones. I mean, yes and no.
Okay, now I'm just gonna say it's probably just a big like is my guess.
You're not entirely wrong.
Okay.
I mean, the Wind Temple boss is incredible.
Yeah.
The Fire Temple has some cool stuff in it, and I thought this was one of the weaker ones. I still haven't gone into the desert though. I haven't done anything with the Gerudo yet. That is kind of the last place I'm saving for myself. So I've just been exploring around. Bobby told me, "Hey, you should go find those great fairy fountains." So I've started doing that. I think I only have one more of those to go. So I've been upgrading some gear. I broke down and I got those the amiibo cards. So I've been trying out that stuff, getting some of the other sets, clothing sets. And I just started kind of just ticking off some boxes. I finally did get the blueprint auto builder feature, which is nice. I have now made the air bike, which is
I just did that today.
It's so brokenly fucking good. And now I have an air bike, and then I also have here's an air bike with rockets on it to begin with to really get me up in the air, and then I can get
or when you're in a hurry.
Anywhere else. Yeah, pretty much. It's awesome. And now with that, I've been exploring a lot more of the Sky Islands, knowing that I can just easily get there.
Yeah,
so I've been finding more of the sage, the will of the sages, or the sage's will, whatever they're called. So I finally upgraded one of those. I got a Tulin upgraded. So it just feels like I'm making real progress now. But but I'm also finding cool little story stuff. Like one of the cool things, I was going around Kakariko Village, and as I'm just talking to people and trying to figure out what's going on with some of these ruins that were there, suddenly I look to my right and holy fuck, there's one of those big flying dragons in the sky, except now it's flying into the fucking earth. And I go, what the fuck's happening here? So I walk over to that, and it's flying down through one of those holes that goes into the depths. And I went, well, I guess I gotta see what that's about. So I jumped on his back, and I got I think it was the ice dragon, and so I got his scale, and then he's just taking me down. I'm like, yeah, hey buddy, I'll go wherever you want to take me, I guess. And it's completely pitch black down there because it's a place I haven't been to before. And then I just see a big red enemy, and I go, okay, well, yeah, fuck it, let's go fight that. And it turned out this is the weirdest thing to me, and I'm sure Bobby, you've experienced this already, but it just was the same boss from the Fire Temple. And he's just like, hey, I'm back, bitch. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. So that was really fun. It was really fun fighting
new boss plus mode.
Yeah. And I went flawless, didn't get touched.
Oh yeah.
Like read him like a book. And then you get like a ton of the currency that gets the battery charges. Yeah. And so now I've got a way more on the battery. I think I've got 4 full batteries now. Which I think is only halfway, but that's been cool. So I feel like I've been making some pretty significant progress and having some cool moments. I fought my first Lionel tonight, and it was very scary because it was not just a Lionel, it was a depths Lionel, and I went, I don't think I'm ready for this. And he also had armor, so I had to break off his armor with a bunch of bomb arrows. He was extremely hard, and I almost died multiple times, and somehow pulled out the dub, and went, "Oh well, fuck." That was.
Did he drop a?
Frustrating.
Did he drop what looked like a katana blade?
No, he didn't drop a sword. He dropped a. He dropped a bow.
Was it a silver armored Lionel?
I mean, it was. I guess maybe
the part will say silver.
Okay, I think something said silver. Yeah, I don't know. He was covered in red because he's in the depths, so it was hard to tell.
If he was armored, I'm pretty sure he was a silver. I think those are the only ones that I've encountered that are.
Yeah, he was fucking scary. I'll tell you that. But that's been a lot of fun. Just tooling around there and figuring out things, and I'm looking forward to getting into the desert and seeing that last area. But for now, it's just been kind of cool. Opening up some puzzles, finding some paths. I did do one of the maze things that's in like the complete top right part of the map, the ground level one anyway. And then where was Eventide Island in Breath of the Wild?
It's in the southeast.
Southeast. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there something for me if I go southeast again?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Yep. I might try that because I never did Eventide in Breath of the Wild. So
man, that's like one of my favorite things.
I heard people say it was really cool. So yeah, feel like I missed out on that one. Anyway, still having a fun time. I'm still playing that at kind of a slower pace and just letting things happen and finding them relatively naturally. I did look up a couple guides just to find the auto builder because I just got to a point of like, okay, I need to find this fucking power.
I found it by accident.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, I just have not been exploring the same way, I suppose. It was kind of funny where there was a mission where it was telling me to follow the statues. Like you just follow where the statues are going, and that's how you get to the auto builder. And my problem is the first statues I saw were when I went down with the dragon in a completely different part of the map, and it's a completely different set of statues. So I followed these statues where they ended, and I thought, all right, well, I did the thing. And then the Zonai guy's like, oh, we don't want to talk to you right now. You have to come back after you go somewhere else. I'm like, I don't know where the somewhere else is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So finally, I just said, "Fuck it! Tell me where the fucking statue is, so I can start this quest." And once I got it, it was totally fine. But yeah, it's been a great time. That's a cool fucking game.
Yeah, man.
Yes, it is.
I've beaten it. I've beaten Ganon twice now, actually. The boss is so nice. I fought him twice. I will say, I think it's pretty telling. I have surpassed my hour count for Breath of the Wild, and that game's been out since 2017.
Yeah, that's
impressive. I think that's pretty telling on it. I've really gotten to a point now where I am just having so much fun. I feel like I'm playing the game now. Like I've gotten the main objective out of the way.
I think I'm game now.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 7 or 8 battery charges, and I'm just building shit. I've got enough currency to do that, like on the fly. You kind of get into some Mad Max scenarios later in the game with building, and so I was able to steal blueprints, so to speak, on some really cool builds that I just added to my favorites now. So I've got some cool shit happening with that. I've really been on like a collectathon for the armor sets, and that's been a ton of fun. I found all kinds of cool shit, and that's been really neat to see some of the abilities you get from it. And then the other thing that I've become obsessed with, I don't think it's a spoiler. I think it's more of a, hey, you should be focusing on these things because you will want them later on. There is a person in Terrytown that once you go through a quest allows you to start building statues of monsters based off of your photography. And it is amazing. All the poses, any capture that you get, they will create
some
a
good stuff.
Fucking awesome pose of them. It's one of the reasons I ended up finding Ganon again, because I wanted to get his pictures. And so I'm telling you this now, not as a spoiler, but as a
take his picture.
Hey, while you're fighting things, whatever pose, whatever happens, if they're dying, flopping, flying, whatever, if you take it to him, he will build them in that pose. And there's a little stage that you can basically use Ultra Hand to piece them together. And so I've been going back, and Chase, you mentioned it earlier, I've been going back into the depths to get some really cool photography of the temple bosses. So I've got all of them collected now and on display. I've gotten like the highest level version of the things in the game that you fight. Really cool. I've got an amazing picture of a Gleeok that's up there that I'm just obsessed with. And that has been kind of my purpose. It's like, all right, where can I go to find this monster or this critter or whatever it is? And how can I start to get some incredible photography to then bring and make these statues with?
Okay, so the statue is whatever pose they're in.
Whatever they're doing in the photo is what he makes in the statue.
That's
awesome.
That's really impressive. Like the way that they
How the fuck
history.
did they do that?
I mean, I just got the Hero's Path in this one, and I know Hero's Path was also in Breath of the Wild, but yeah, like getting Hero's Path and going, okay, I've been playing this game for about 60 hours now. Let's just play what's going on with the Hero's Path, and the game does tell you, like, hey, we can only save your last 276 hours. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Nintendo, how?
I know.
I
don't know.
How can you just figure out where I've been?
Dude,
how is that possible? It's just incredible the way that they're able to archive all of this shit and be able to bring it up later.
What's the big thing out in the desert? The Madulga? Is that how you say that? Is that what that is? Madulga?
Medulla oblongata?
That's it. You know how it it's like a whale essentially, and it comes out of the sand. I timed it to where I got it mid jump, and so when they made it, it's mid jump, and I was able to prop it up in a way where it looks like it's jumping over other things on my stage. It's really fucking cool, man. It's awesome. It is so fucking cool. It is easily something that you could never do, never engage with. The guy that you have to give the like bauble coins, whatever they are, to
enjoy your bauble.
It's his brother. So he shows back up in Terrytown.
Okay.
And he's like a big monster freak. He's like, please build these for me, and you do that. It's become one of my I just have it's so good. It's so good. But I love this game. I have not stopped playing it for much, but I have gone to other things and played a few other things I'll talk about tonight. A game that we quick look chase the prologue of actually came out. Above Snakes was, I think, a really cool concept on a survival crafting. This is one where you do like the patchwork builds of the land. We've got a quick look up you can go and check out. I've been playing that. That came out, what day was that? It launched on May 25th, so just a few days ago. And that is by Square Glade Games. Again, if you go to youtube.com/casual hour, you can find our Above Snakes prologue quick look. I think that prologue has been pulled, but they have DLC and all that stuff. The game is on sale for $22.49, normally $25.99. Another game that we have a quick look recorded for that we will be putting up next week and potentially streaming is the Miasma Chronicles. That game came out on May 23rd. It is made by the Bearded Ladies. It is currently $49.99, and this is the same studio that has brought Mutant Year Zero. Chase, you found another game that they had made in between this and that.
Yeah, what was it called?
This is very much... Yeah, I can't remember the exact name of it.
I'll look it up. You keep going.
This is very much the same style of game that you would expect from a Mutant Year Zero, like very much mechanically the same. There's a few new abilities that you get with this this glove that you can control some of the miasma stuff that happens with it. I like this game a whole lot. I'm having a really good time with it. I think that if I was not playing Zelda to the degree that I am, I probably would be spending quite a bit of time with this, and even Showgunners. Like, two really solid XCOM-like tactical turn-based games have launched in May that were not really on my radar until they came out. And Showgunners was on my radar, but this one was not. And they're very cool. We'll have our quick look up next week. Chase and I might stream it on a Monday night. You both got to see it. Was there anything that stood out to you on it?
It's frighteningly like Mutant Year Zero.
Yes.
As somebody who is still currently playing Mutant Year Zero right now, Just the way, and also their third game, Corruption 2029 is what it's called. And that game also scarily similar to both in that it is post-apocalyptic. There's basically a team of 3. There is this kind of dual phase of the game where you're walking in real time and are able to kind of stalk around and choose when you go into combat, and then the combat is this turn-based style. And I mean, what we saw in the quick look looks cool. I'm not saying that they just ripped themselves off and it's a carbon copy.
Their old game concurrent, like the same time that you're seeing Bobby play this one. It's just in starker relief than it would be if you played.
It makes it stand out so much that you just took the same concepts and you kind of put them in another game. And yes, there's differences that this character is more of like a heavy character, and so far in Mutant Year Zero there hasn't really been somebody like that for me.
Like a sniper, I think, is like you have like a pretty agile person, but I don't think you have a big tanky guy.
Yeah, I mean the pig kind of can do that, but yeah, it's not like, hey, here's a character that can be used as a shield, which is something that you can do in Miasma. But it's great. It's great that they're so far they're the only ones really making games like this. So I think it's fine that they've made more or less 3 games like this. It kind of does just feel like Mutant Year Zero without the animals. It's what if we just put people in it instead, which is perfectly fine. It seems really cool. I will say one thing that I did mention on the quick look. One of the things I'm not enjoying about Mutant Year Zero is it's just so dark, and it makes it really hard to walk around and find enemies. And I feel like I run into ambushes more often, or even when I feel like I have picked off enough enemies and go into combat, there will be like another 4 guys that I didn't account for because I didn't see them. And this game, at least a little bit I saw in the quick look, seems like it is a lot brighter and has a lot more visual information. I mean, it's still dark and dank,
but
it is
super stylistic too. Like there's a lot that they're showing. Like the Miasma is very interesting. They've got a good style, I think, for how they bring that influence. It's if you saw Annihilation, whenever they first go into the woods, it reminds me. Like it has that kind of effect on the environment. This also takes place, I think, in Kentucky or somewhere kind of like Midwest or South. It's definitely got like that kind of swamp vibe to it on top of everything else, which I think that they kind of invoke that feeling with Mutant Year Zero too, tonally. But
yeah, I mean that was a little bit more, I think, Pacific Northwesty, a lot of forests and shit like that. Whereas this one, definitely has a different climate to it.
It's cool. Like they make solid ass games. If you are into turn-based tactics, I would argue that they're making some of the more interesting ones right now. Albeit they've made the same game a few times over mechanically, but there's not like they got their shit. So it's mostly
and they are a good challenge too. Like there is some solid difficulty. Like I'm even playing Mutant Year Zero on the lowest difficulty just because I kind of want to get through it at this point.
Totally.
And it's still, I mean, it's not easy. It's still a challenge. You need to play that game smartly and in our quick
tactically.
Look,
would you say?
I might say that
strategically.
And no offense to Bobby's tactical skills here, the game kind of fucked him up during the quick look, and I think it was really just the path that we took, and not doing things in the most tactical way. And the game's like, all right, well, I'm going to punish the shit out of you for it.
Yep. So that just to recap for me, still mostly Tears of the Kingdom, but I did see credits, but I still got a lot of game to play there. Above Snakes, which we have a quick look up for. And then the Miasma Chronicles, which we have a quick look recorded that will go up. I mean, this is probably not going to age well, but we're going to put it up the first week of June. Johnny, my friend, what have you been doing?
Well, like you and Chase, I've been playing a lot of Zelda still. It's the main thing I've been playing. This last week, though, because Diablo's coming out, and Final Fantasy's coming out later this month. There's just a lot of stuff coming out.
Spoiler.
Oh, sorry, Chase. My bad.
Jesus, what do you think we're gonna do on this podcast?
I don't know. Forget I said anything. I wanted to get through Jedi Survivor because I'm in the last chapter of that game, and I think I've probably got like an hour or two left. And I'm was reminded how much I love this game after not playing it for a few weeks because of Zelda, and I'm really interested in where the story's going to go, where it's going to end up, and I think Bobby will have a lot to talk about come
Yeah.
game of the year time.
I a friend of the show I saw put up tweet Jiggy-san that this might be his favorite Star Wars game.
Yeah,
Which
I
he plays
think,
a lot of them.
If you take away all the technical issues, which you can't do on
I haven't
certain
seen a lot of.
platforms,
Have they updated this? Like, is it
it's
good now, or is it?
it's still a little sketch on
Damn.
PlayStation, and PlayStation is supposed to be the best place for it to be. But I have a buddy who just started playing it, and he said to me, he was like, "This game kind of runs like ass," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right, it does a little bit, but
It's
the game part's really good."
It is. I'm wanting to get back to it, man. I've got a quest in that around bounty hunting that looks really fun to get like to the end of.
I want to
But
do that.
I fought through the poor optimization of this game for two reasons. One, I knew Zelda was coming out. Two, I found everything about the game outside of how it ran just a delight. And
Yeah.
I was willing to sacrifice a bit here and there, but I don't think I want to go back to it in the state I left it until they fix some things before I like
should just
button up
wait
stuff.
until it's more heavily patched.
Yeah.
It's a shame because there's a fantastic game in there. And I did a dumb thing today.
Oh.
I decided after playing the Street Fighter 6 demo on my PlayStation, it's like, okay, when this game goes on sale, I'll pick it up because I had a really good time with that demo.
When does it go on sale, Johnny?
It went on sale before it even came out, and I got it for like $20 off from CD Keys. So I own Street Fighter 6, so I re-downloaded the demo today to make sure I just wasn't fooling myself and thinking, okay, did you really have that good of a time? And I played for almost 2 hours today,
Nice.
that demo, and it's really, really good. I'm using the modern controls, which simplifies to a degree the fighting. And so like Street Fighter has always been one, like I played a good amount of Street Fighter 4 on the 360 back in the day, and I played Street Fighter 2 here and there when I was growing up. I was always more of an MK kid, and then I played a lot of Soul Calibur, so I've always liked fighting games. I just have never been the greatest at them, especially when they have a higher skill ceiling. And I feel like the changes they've made here and the tutorialization is like maybe the best I've ever seen in a fighting game. And it's nice to be able to play it this way and not feel like I think
Who'd you play as?
in the demo it's just Luke and Ryu.
Who's Luke?
And he's
a new person.
He's a new guy from 5.
Okay.
And then you can also create a character. And
I've seen some cursed creations.
Yeah, you can get real stupid with it.
The best thing I've seen is that your character's phone scales with the size of the hand that you make for them.
Oh man!
So some people just have these giant fucking phablets because they've made their hands so fucking big.
You can make your hands ridiculously large.
Yeah, it's so stupid
or tiny.
It is just funny. It's like, yeah, we're not gonna figure out the way that the phone fits into these different size hands. What if we just scaled it all as one object?
God,
that's great.
That's dumb.
I played through what they have there and the create a character. Like it's like it's not really an open world, but it's like this place you can run around and you can challenge any of the NPCs there to a fight, which is kind of funny. And they have the 1v1 like arcade mode where you can play as Ryu or Luke. And so I was just bouncing back and forth between the two of those, and had a really good time. I think it's did I need to buy this game? No, absolutely not. But
it's getting enough buzz, man.
It's getting great reviews. I had a good enough time with the demo that I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
you
man.
only live once, right? So I'm looking forward to that. And Diablo this week.
tomorrow.
And tomorrow, yep. Diablo unlocks 19 hours.
If you have the deluxe, right?
If you do. If you
Okay.
have the two
or if you bought enough chicken
higher-
from Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Cool, man. Well, Chase, why don't you help us get caught up on our past sins and what we've done there?
Do you want to spin a wheel first?
No, do I have to?
I mean, yeah, I need to know the next game I'm going to play.
Have you really been playing these games? I think this is all for show.
I have. I've played all of them for at least some amount. I need to play more Mutant Zero though.
All right, I'm gonna spin this thing.
All right, let's see what we got. I added a new game to it today. Do not remember what I added. Oh, I do. It was Diablo 2 because I didn't care about Diablo 4, but I did.
Codename Steam.
Oh, Chase.
Shit.
Why would you put that on there? Is that a joke?
It was Jiggy's choice. It was Jiggy's one choice.
Oh my god.
Oh.
God damn it. I'm so angry.
I'm
Johnny,
I
will
fucking
you
hate this game.
why is it on here?
Because I told Jiggy he could choose anything he wanted, and it is somewhat of an inside joke because he knows I don't like it. He likes it. It's fine. It's a turn-based strategy game that Intelligent System makes. How could it go wrong, right? There are even fucking Fire Emblem characters that you can get in here.
But you said you don't like it. Have you played it?
It's so I played a demo, and it was just the did I play a demo or did I think I might actually own this game. I can't remember. I fucking hate this game, but I'll be playing it in the month of June. Codename Steam. God damn it, Jiggy. So pissed.
I'm putting that.
Damn.
I'm gonna put that on our Twitter account. I think I took a screenshot of that.
Oh, great.
Good.
Great. Wonderful.
Good.
You know, maybe I'll like it this time. Who knows? Maybe Abraham Lincoln shooting a gun will interest me this time.
Damn.
That is absolutely what happens. It's like a group of. Is it all old presidents, or it might just be historical patriots? Yeah, they're all like mech'd out. It's a weird thing, but it's the thing I didn't like about it is that it's all in 3D. And there's no just overhead tactical map that can tell you where to go and where the enemies are. So you're kind of just walking around these spaces, and there's a lot of verticality, and it's tough to see enemies, and it all just feels so fucking slow.
Damn.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Damn.
What's this wheel called? Is it called the Wheel of Backlog?
Backlog Roulette 2023.
Yeah. That's the one.
That's the one. All right. Codename Steam.
How did we do last month?
Oh, you know. I mean, we all said Zelda, so fine.
I think we did okay then.
We did just fine.
Yeah. We all said Zelda. Bobby, you and I both had Humanity on our lists, which is a game I have not played exactly, but we have done on Casual Mondays. We've done quick look of it. We're pretty big fans. I think if I didn't have Zelda going on right now, that would have been an easy pickup for me, and I still think it's something I'll end up getting later in the year and playing through, because I think that's really cool. I also had written, I really hope WrestleQuest is good, and you know what? I hope WrestleQuest comes out because it still
I do
hasn't.
too, man.
Oh, delayed?
They've changed from hey, we're coming out in May to coming soon ? So that game is nowhere to be found. So I can't tell you if WrestleQuest is good or not. Bobby, you also had Far World Pioneers. I don't even remember anything about that game.
This is the one that looked like Terraria. It's on. I have it downloaded. It's getting middling reviews. I think that there's some rough edges on it still, but I'm curious about it. I don't really have the bandwidth at the moment to take it on, but it's on Game Pass. I want to check it out. I have it downloaded, but not getting the best buzz.
Yeah, and also we just knew this month was going to be Zelda month, and everything else kind of took a back seat. So that is something that kind of just got passed off. Johnny, you, in addition to Tears of the Kingdom, you had Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, which is a game that we recorded our quick look for. Is that going out this week, Bobby, or next week?
Next week.
Next week.
Yep.
Next week for Bolt Gun. We all think it's pretty cool.
It is. I played some more of it before we started the show.
Yeah.
Tonight.
So I'd say pretty good call on that one. And then Lego 2K Drive, which just came out, right?
It did come out.
I've not picked this one up. I'm still interested in it. But given that I just bought fucking Street Fighter, I probably will wait to buy this one.
I've been hearing some stuff that, man, it'd be really cool if this game just didn't have all this microtransaction bullshit in it.
That has also deterred me.
That's what I've heard as well. Not great.
Yeah. Like all that pre-order stuff about, oh, here's the burger car and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but it's all pre-order and microtransaction-y bullshit, and I just want a Forza Horizon with Legos. And you know what? There's a Forza Horizon with Legos DLC. So like I basically have what I was asking for.
They also just announced the new Hot Wheels game coming out in October, which I know, Johnny, you liked that game quite a bit, and this is a sequel to that. I love Lego shit. I like Forza, but I don't need to like get caught up in the bullshit. Like let me just build fucking cool cars and race them.
Man, I really liked Lego Racers 2, or maybe just Lego Racers 1. What was that on? Was that N64 maybe? That might have been N64. But like you were actually just building your car with that, and they were all very simple because they had very restrictive size limits on things, width and height and length. So but you still got all the pieces and you got to build in a 3D environment your racer. Man, I thought that was cool. So I part of me really wants to play Lego 2K Drive, and then just is getting dejected by all the other garbage that's kind of being tacked onto it.
Hell yeah, man. With you there.
Fuck you, Jiggy.
Jiggy's loving it right now.
Yeah, he's feasting. He's having a great time. All right, let's move in to the month of June. How does that sound to you guys?
Sounds great. I'm down for it.
So let's talk first about the free stuff. Who cares? Let's talk first about free stuff. On PlayStation Plus, they kind of went away from having distinct PS4 games and PS5 games. These are all on both NBA 2K23, Jurassic World Evolution 2, and Trek to Yomi are all going to be on PlayStation Plus Essentials. That is the
one of those
bottom
games
tier.
is pretty good.
NBA, I'm guessing, is the
Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Okay,
played some of that on PC.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a city builder, right? But for Jurassic,
it's like a park.
You're building a park.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's I played it for a few hours and it was okay. It was on Game Pass.
I think I
got it.
Did I play the first one? I might have played a demo of the second one. I can't remember. Is this the one that has Jeff Goldblum just talking in your ear basically the whole beginning?
Think he narrates both of them.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's very possible.
That's half the draw right there.
Yeah, pretty much. They've made a lot of different Jurassic Park style video games that are like this. I think there was one on the original Xbox that I was quite a big fan of. So yeah, that's cool, and it's free now.
We can make it work this time.
Yeah. Turns out you can't. NBA is always a solid franchise. I think they always have some microtransaction garbage in there too. But if you want to play that game just straight exhibition or season mode, you don't need to play with any of the microtransaction-y stuff. Those games always seem solid. And then Trek to Yomi, man, that game shows real nice in a trailer. And
like mid to Yomi.
Oh my God.
All right. Xbox Games with Gold. This month we have 2 games. They're both on Xbox One and Xbox Series S and X. The first is Adios, which is a game that I vaguely remembered, and then I had to read about it. Did you just
make this description up?
I did not.
No, ChatGPT did.
I was going to ask if that was an AI description.
I remembered this. This is an actual game. So you are a pig farmer in Kansas, and you work with the mob to get rid of their bodies by feeding them to the pigs.
Okay.
And your character has decided that they don't want to work for the mob anymore.
Well, I
and,
got bad news for you, buddy.
yeah, the mob's not going to let you do that. And their hitman friend, who maybe is like a go-between or something, he comes to the farm, and it's kind of your last conversation together where he is trying to convince you to keep going, and your character is adamant that he's not going to anymore. So it is supposed to be kind of this philosophical game where you're having this conversation that you kind of know is your last, and it sounded really interesting to me when I first heard about it, and cool that it's going to be on Xbox Games Gold. People should check that out. I should check that out. That seems like a cool thing, and also probably pretty short. The other game, also kind of interesting, is called The Veil: Shadow of the Crown. This game is audio based. I don't even know what a trailer for this would look like, because I don't think the game has visuals exactly. You're supposed to use sounds and use haptic feedback on the controller to be able to fight against enemies. I guess it's like a sword fantasy setting. I remember playing an iOS game. It was on my other podcast, Gamers on the Go. It was one of my really early episodes where I think it was called Vanished, maybe, and it was an iOS game where there would be nothing on screen, and you would just have to listen through your headphones and move based on, like, you'd actually have to move your phone with you to have the audio show up in the different like a 3D space.
There's a really cool game called Blind Drive that I played. It's a very simple interface, but you are auditory with it, and you're in a getaway car type scenario, and you have to steer based off how you're hearing the obstacles come your way. They're fun games. They can be challenging. There's a lot of sensory stuff they tap into, but this sounds really cool to have haptics included with it. That seems like a neat thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hope it's cool. I don't remember hearing much about this game when it first came out, but I like people stretching the idea of what video games can be, and this game seems to do that. Bobby, I'm going to pass it back over to you to talk about some of the new stuff and old stuff that is newly coming to Game Pass this month. So what do we got?
Yeah, we had 2 late in the month editions, like within this week, so I included them here. But Chicory: A Colorful Tale, a game that we've all liked quite a bit, is available on console, PC, and cloud. As we mentioned, Far World Pioneers, that did launch late in the month of May, but middling reviews. But now we're getting to the stuff that's coming out. Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. So it's an older car. A classic car.
Sure. Remember 2021? What a classic year that was.
Classic year
for all of us.
Well, hey, it was a tough year to get cars, so I'm glad that they found a way to get one. Slayers X Terminal Aftermath: Vengeance of the Slayer.
That is made up by AI.
That is definitely that is a name. That's what happens when you give AI a line read by AI. The Big Con. Hypnospace Outlaw. I think that's been on here before, but that game's cool.
I own that on Switch. I think that's on the big wheel to do sometime. But that game seems
whenever
really
you
awesome.
get that game pulled up, I will play that game with you.
Okay.
I have not played that either, and if you're playing it, I will play it so we can talk about it. And we'll create our own little zeitgeist. Amnesia: The Bunker is out. Rune Factory 4 Stacking comes out as well.
Oh, Stacking is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Stacking is so fucking good. Double Fine makes a lot of great games, but it's one of the best Double Fine games.
Nice. Depending on where you're from, you might hear this game pronounced differently, but we're going to call it Dordania tonight. It looks very cool. It's got a look to it. We'll talk more about that later on and maybe not pronounce it wrong. But to make room for the new, you have to get rid of the old. And The Purge is going to be hitting Bridge Constructor Portal. Chorus, which is weird. I thought it was Coviths, but I might be wrong there. Maneater, Mortal Shell, Johnny.
That's the game bad.
You liked Mortal Shell, right, Johnny?
I like the demo.
Yeah.
That's Souls-like.
Serious Sam 4, and a game that I know you like, Total War 3 Kingdoms, will be leaving. So,
I mean, I don't know if I like it. I own it. I would like to play it someday, but I need to finish the book before I mess with the game.
God, get a
Gotta make sure you know
fucking
what happens.
gamify whatever you need to gamify to make it work.
I'm on the third book at this point. I'm 2/3 of the way through the Three Kingdoms.
I will also just preface this next statement with a big grain of salt and rumor mill, but we are also entering into the Summer Game Fest / Microsoft big presentation. Game Pass could look different at the end of the month. Who knows what's going to happen there? The last time they did something like this, we had a gem of a game called Hi-Fi Rush drop. There could be some late additions added or taken away. We will not know until I believe it's June 11th, and then you will find out for our listeners out there when we tell you about what happened that following Wednesday. So that's the latest on Game Pass, Chase.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the actual releases coming out this month, and we'll start on the 1st, which is tomorrow if you're listening live, or yesterday if you're listening when we put it out on Friday. The first one here, Killer Frequency, is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. It's a horror game. It's like one of those walk around horror games. I guess it has some like adventure elements to it. I saw this and remembered one of my friends really liked a game called Bendy and the Ink Adventure.
Ink Machine.
Ink Machine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell you what, this looks okay, but it's no FNAF. You know?
Yeah, it definitely has a Five Nights vibe, though. There's people talking to you over a radio, or you're a DJ as well. Trailer seemed like kind of went back and forth on some of those things. But
And you work on a haunted radio station?
I guess so. Or apparently there's like a serial killer going around the town, and like somebody called in, and you're at the station when somebody called in. So that's at least where the game starts. I don't know. It seems I like the art style. It seems kind of cool.
If the music is streamable, I bet people will have a good time streaming that game for sure.
I could see that. Moving on to the second, we've got a lot of stuff coming out on the second. The first one, Shantae, is coming to PS4 and PS5. This is the Game Boy Color game. So it's a port of the 2002 Game Boy Color game. That has also come to 3DS Virtual Console and Switch Virtual Console, or not Virtual Console, Switch. Just it's on the eShop, I guess. But it's also now apparently coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, which
That's weird.
I don't think a Game Boy Color game has ever been on a PlayStation console before. I'm trying to think of one, and I'm coming up empty.
That's strange.
I have never played a Shantae game.
I haven't either.
I mean, this first one I know came out really late in the Game Boy Color life cycle, which is why nobody played it. So even though it looks great, it's got great colors and great animations. It became a really rare game because everybody was moving on to the Game Boy Advance at that point. WayForward's made a ton of other Shantae games. I've played a handful of them. They're all pretty solid platformers with some cool ideas. Like Shantae is a genie and she's able to change forms, so you're able to switch. Bobby, okay? Is that coming through?
The fuck is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Are your headphones haunted?
You got a killer frequency going on.
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
Just Shantae's so angry. How's the audio sound on the stream, Johnny?
It sounds okay. Bobby might have himself muted.
I don't know what's going on with my headphones. I can't hear shit. Hang on a second, guys.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay. We'll hold. So Johnny, how are things?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah. Nice. It's good.
Yeah.
What?
Open
in
You
the
gonna
world?
pick up Shantae?
I feel like if I played this, it would probably be on my analog.
Let me. You guys keep
Yeah,
talking.
that's
I'm gonna
fair.
grab another set of headphones. I'll be
All right.
right there. Hang on.
Sounds
Okay.
good. This is a game I have in my analog pocket, and I think it is something I would like to get to someday. It feels.
It's one of those ones. Every time I see it in any context, I'm like, I should really check out one of those games at some point, 'cause they've made a bunch of them.
Yeah. Half Genie Hero, I think, is one of them. and somebody's revenge. I forgot whose revenge it is.
Didn't limited this
Okay.
Like Dante
in
and
the last
7
2,
C's,
3
Half
years.
Genie Hero, Risky's revenge. That's the revenge.
Can you
Bob, we
guys
got
hear
you
me?
back?
Yeah.
You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That was so strange. Like I had the most screeching loud static. I don't know if you could hear
Oh,
it
we
or
could
not.
hear it.
Yeah,
We could hear it.
hear. Killer
Dude, it
frequency.
scared the shit out of me. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Like my ears are ringing from it. It was so fucking loud. I have no idea what caused it. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm here.
Oh,
Let's
no, we're all good. We finished with Shantae, and we're ready to move on to Street Fighter 6, which is also coming out on the 2nd, coming to PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Not Xbox One that I saw. So I don't know if that's maybe it comes out on a different day on Xbox One, or maybe they just didn't make an Xbox One version. I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw Metacritic had it at a 92. People seem to be pretty fucking jazzed for Street Fighter.
It's especially after 5 being, I think, a big letdown. I never played 5 at all.
At least at the start. I know they kept adding stuff, and eventually it got to a relatively decent place. I remember the last Evo that Street Fighter 5 was going to be at, and it seemed like people were actually really jazzed about what was going on. It kind of felt sad that we were leaving it, because it felt like it finally just got to the
Where it
place it
needed to
wanted to
be.
be.
Yeah, but I mean,
and now we're
it
moving on to
was-
6.
I have to imagine like the player base wasn't getting any larger, and
I'm super curious to see how this is going to influence some of those things this year, with 3 major fighting games coming out. Like,
for a long time, like I don't know, it seems like fighting games have really hit like a resurgence the last, I don't know how many years.
oh, you mean them fighting
success.
herds?
Yes.
Your melty bloods.
Yeah, your melty bloods, your what have yous.
Blaze
I'm
Blues.
excited. I played a lot of 4 back in the day, as I mentioned earlier. So
I mean, 4 was kind of this blessing and a curse. It came in and reinvigorated people's idea of what Street Fighter was, and got them back into it. And then they did the Capcom thing where they kind of just ran it into the ground with Super Street Fighter 4 and championship editions and turbos and all that shit. And then once 5 came out, it just felt like it was flat, and it didn't have the single player mode or at the beginning, and it just was so rough. It's very cool to see that 6 is coming in and getting solid reviews and being well received, and I hope it's good. I haven't really cared about Street Fighter for a while. I don't think I'm going to be picking this game up, but I'm really excited to hear what Johnny has to say, and I'm really, really excited to watch the next Evo and see what
people that are actually good.
See how these characters are supposed to be played.
Hey, Capcom, they're doing all right.
Yeah, man, they are on a just hot streak since Monster Hunter World came out.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, that just really turned the tide for them, and they've just been. I mean, the rumors were that they were probably going to be selling at some point, and then the Monster Hunter numbers were so good that they just kind of kept going, and now it feels like they're one of the better publishers out there right now. So pretty cool. Also on the 2nd, Super Mega Baseball 4 coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Super Mega Baseball 3 is a fantastic video game, and I think if you already own 3, I haven't seen anything in 4 that has made me stand up and go, wow, you gotta have that. But if you haven't played Super Mega Baseball 3, game seems great. It is just, I think it is the most fun feeling baseball game in terms of just playing the game. The mechanics stuff, it feels smooth, it's easy to get into, it's intuitive.
Is this something that we could all play on like a Friday night?
I think it only has 2-player.
Okay.
But I mean, we certainly could. could commentate. Honestly, you're gonna need somebody to commentate, because if it's anything like Super Mega Baseball 3, no commentary, which just kind of, I don't know, you have to have a podcast or something going on when you're playing this game, because it does get a little dry. The big new thing here is that they've added some Legends players. The Metalhead, I believe, is the developer. They got acquired by EA since Super Mega Baseball 3 came out, and EA has helped them with a little bit of licensing to get some of these Legend players. Babe Ruth, yep, Babe Ruth is absolutely in the game. So you stretch all the way back to that, but then you get people as late as Big Papi David Ortiz from the Boston Red Sox. So like there are some semi-modern players, but nobody who is currently playing, because those would have to be under MLB and the Players Association contract.
So this is just likeness rights, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I don't think anybody did any voices or anything like that. But they still all have their old funky teams as well, and all these Legend players are going to be on funky teams or like Legends teams that they've built for this. Like the Boston Red Sox are not in this game. The St. Louis Cardinals are not in this game, which for me is a bit of a disappointment. I think it's really cool that you have your indie baseball game and that you get to have all your fun characters in here and your fun team names and mascots and shit like that. That's great. I love it. But I kind of also, if I'm playing a baseball game, I want to play with the guys who are playing. I want to have Shohei fucking Ohtani on this and want to see him hit his giant fucking dingers.
Well, Chase, let me introduce you to MLB The Show.
Yep.
I've played the show and it's fine. It's okay. But it's
no Super Mega Baseball.
I think this arcadey style is just much more fun for me, who wants to get in and play a game or two of baseball every once in a while. Whereas the show, I feel like you really need to buckle in, and I just don't feel like I have the time for that. I barely have the time to watch real baseball, which is something I really enjoy. So to play a bunch of fake baseball is not usually something I'm into. But Super Mega Baseball, fantastic franchise. And like I said, if you have 3, you should probably just play more 3. But if you haven't played the series before, I think 4 is going to be a great place to jump in.
Nice.
Also on the 2nd, We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, where it's kind of, hey, we did a port of the old game, but we added this new thing for you to do as well. So this is a remaster of the 2005 PlayStation 2 We Love Katamari game, which is the second Katamari game.
I remember playing this back then, and it just blowing my mind.
I think did they do they might have ported We Love Katamari to the Vita at some point. I feel like
it's been on everything.
Yeah, almost assuredly. I feel like I played Katamari on the Vita though. But so this is a remaster of the old game. It's got all that stuff in there, but there is this new Royal Reverie mode, and that has you playing as the King of all Cosmos when he was the age of the prince who you play in Katamari. And you get to see the King of all Cosmos' dad, and you're kind of doing this kind of prologue origin story for the King of all Cosmos, and that's what this kind of new challenge mode is for the Royal Reverie. Seems cool. Katamari is just a fucking great idea. They've made a ton of these, game. So they've kind of run it into the ground a little bit, but I feel like it's been a while since we've had.
Or did they roll it into the ground?
Wow.
Thank you.
God damn it, Johnny.
It's very appreciated. You're a vital part of the team.
You're a bad man.
Yep.
And then let's move on to something that we care
Let's
about a little
roll
bit
on.
more
Let's
here.
get our roll on.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a coincidence that this next game formula releases on the 6th day of the 6th month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
at the
but they
sixth
couldn't
hour.
they couldn't quite get the last 6 in there to make it work. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm sure somebody absolutely said, hey, we have to delay this game so much, and somebody said, fine, then you're gonna put it out on 6/6. Diablo 4. It's Diablo 4. It's coming to
Yeah.
PC, PS4,
Hell
PS5,
yeah.
Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. You guys have been playing early demos and pre-release stuff. How are you guys feeling going into the 6th
Fucking
about Diablo?
Very
Jacked up.
excited.
It's good, man.
This is going to be our Friday night game
For a
for the
while.
foreseeable future. And this also got excellent reviews yesterday, same day as the ones for Street Fighter came out, I think. And it's, I really enjoyed my time with that server slam, and I'm excited to check out the full game tomorrow.
Johnny, you're starting as a sorcerer, correct?
I'm gonna be a sorceress. I'm gonna make
Sorceress.
a ice witch.
Queen.
Yep, Ice Queen.
What's her name gonna be?
Oh fuck. I had a good one for the beta. I don't know. Naja.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I know, Bobby.
Jan.
I know what you want.
What, are you gonna
Anyway,
name it after my wife?
No, we
no.
would certainly we wouldn't dare. We wouldn't
No.
dare. Not us.
not
Not
us.
these two. Let's move on.
You said ice, not loud.
Bobby, who are you gonna play as
What-
in
what-
Diablo 4?
A loud class. No, I'm
sure.
I'm playing as a necromancer.
Necro's so good.
I really enjoyed it in 3. I did not want to start with it here. I played as a barbarian and immortal and had a ton of fun. I have not felt any of the changes that they talked about making for their melee classes, but holy shit, they seem very,
It was
very
a little
bad.
underwhelming.
Very underwhelming compared to the range stuff.
I am much more like always drawn towards like magic users more so than I am
Yeah.
melee users. So that just already doesn't speak to me
Yep.
very strongly.
Gonna
So,
do a sorcerer. I'm sorry, a necro first, maybe a sorcerer down the line, but I can't wait. I'm very excited. I've enjoyed everything I've played with this game so far, and I'm pretty pumped that we're gonna have kind of just our path for the next few Fridays, and that will allow me to keep this game going and play some other things as well. But I think this will be a really good game for us and a few friends to drop in and out of.
Very cool. Moving on to the 8th, Bleak Sword DX is
Hell
coming to
yes.
PC and Switch. So, Bobby, was this
Yep.
one of the ones that you played in the
Oh,
Next
yeah.
Fest? It does look familiar.
It's a Devolver game. It was something that you and I streamed. We did not record anything for it, but we did on a Monday night stream. And I love the look of this game. I like the way it plays a whole lot. It is very fucking cool. Devolver makes really cool shit. This is no exception there.
They made Trek to Yomi, so
There's some people out there that love that game. That shit was not for me though. I like the style quite a bit.
it's like a fucking Atari game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it also reminds me, maybe it is just the Devolver stuff that's in here, but it reminds me a lot of Cult of the Lamb too, and color scheme and this idea of you're fighting in these kind of segmented arenas. Each area you move to, it's got
it even has the
great look.
DX in the name. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
looks
very
cool.
good, man. I'll be picking this one up for sure. I'm excited
On the
to
Switch, right? You're gonna pick it up on the Switch?
No, I think I'll be checking this one out potentially either on my Steam Deck or on an ROG Ally. I don't know how that's going to shake out yet, but
Fair enough.
I'll be playing this in a handheld, but on PC. I think this will be completely fine on the Switch based off what I played.
Oh yeah,
Heck verified, my friend.
It doesn't seem like it'll be too intensive
Yeah.
based on the pixel art that I'm
Yeah.
seeing here.
For sure.
Also on the 8th, Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, coming to PC and Switch as well. This is the newest game from Don't Nod, the people from Life is Strange. I think it's cool that they're tackling this kind of new art style here and leaning even further into the supernatural. Like here in this trailer stuff we've seen so far, it's just kind of normal city, but eventually somebody's going to get Forspoken here and move into.
Oh, it's an isekai.
It's an isekai. Yes, it's absolutely an isekai.
Nice.
It's a hamburger isekai. I think is what they call it.
Wait
Wait a minute. Donut is not American. Are they French? Where's Donut? Donut's French, right?
I think so.
All right,
What's
I got
French?
the developer, Donut.
Mm.
Yeah, Paris, France. They probably know how to say Dordania.
Yes.
um, yeah, I don't know, Bobby. What are you thinking about this when you saw the trailer? I felt like you were
This
having something there.
Yeah, this has been advertised. Like I have not seen them advertised on social platforms like they have with this. I saw it. I'm like, that kind of has a Banner Saga style to it a little
Yeah.
bit. And I've not played. Admittedly, I've not played any of the Don't Nod games. It's not that I don't think that they're good. I've been impressed always by what they've shown, and I've always told myself, "Hey, you'll get around to playing one of those." But this seems like I don't want to come across as harsh, but it felt like a lot of the games that they had been making started to look a lot of like the same, like tonally and just art and the subjects that they were tackling. Not that they shouldn't tackle those; I think they're very important. But this one, to what you called out, Chase, it looks very different, and it's hitting an art style that I rather like. And I couldn't tell you what's going on in the game, but I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I did watch a Let's Play of Life is Strange 1 and enjoyed it. And I've bought Life is Strange 2, and I think it is on the big wheel to play at some point. The thing that kind of bothered me about Life is Strange is that I didn't think the supernatural stuff needed to be there. It felt, I don't know. It felt like a gameplay mechanic gimmick that was kind of attached to it, and then story wise, let's figure out how to make it work into the story that we're telling. So I do kind of appreciate that they just said, hey, what if we just go full on sci-fi weird stuff and go to a whole new world and don't have to have the baggage that you do when you're setting a game in like the Pacific Northwest and you're a French company with a bunch of French voice actors. Not all of them were French, but just some stuff that kind of felt out of place a little bit in the first Life is Strange, where I this one feels a little bit more confident that they know what they want to do and they're cool with it. So good on them. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of France and French stuff, let's move to the 13th, where with Dordania, as we're calling it, Dordogne. I don't know. In French, you just kind of don't say a bunch of the syllables, right? That's how that works. Everything is silent in French.
Yes.
This is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This game, from the first time I saw these trailers, a while ago. I feel like we've known about this game for quite a bit. This one I seem to remember coming out, or the trailers coming out around the same time that what was the game where it was like the person on the bike who
Sessions.
was recording. Was that it? Yeah, where they were like recording the end of the world or something
Seasons.
for the next generation. Seasons. That sounds
I think
right.
that's it.
Maybe.
I'll pull it up.
I feel like we saw those around the same time, maybe in the same. I don't know if it was like the Wholesome Games Direct or something like that, something to that effect. And I remember those games standing out, and this one especially. Just this art style is so cool with this. Like these are absolutely 3D models in a 3D space, but it has this painterly look to it that is just really fucking cool.
Yeah, man. Is it a platformer? Is that what this is?
I think it's more of an adventure game. I think you're going around and you're doing kind of like these puzzly things, like that lighting the match. But you're also just kind of experiencing a story of childhood in Dordogne.
Dordogne.
I think it looks really rad. It actually reminds me a little bit of something like Florence, even though it's kind of a different thing. But still, maybe that vibe. I'm really impressed.
Did that dev ever make another game outside of Florence? Because that was something.
Maybe didn't they do the? Oh, did they not do Assemble with Care? And
that's Monument Valley, folks.
There. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, Chase, this is kind of, maybe this is a Boku no Natsuyami like.
Natsuyasumi, yeah.
Yeah, Natsuyasumi like.
Yeah, I could see it. Sorry,
Took
I'm
me way
looking
too
up.
long to figure out what the
It was a
name
good
of
try.
that.
It was a good try. Mountains was the developer of Florence. I don't see anything else on their website for other games they've made,
Damn.
so it might just be Florence. Let's move on to the 15th for some anime.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, it's golf.
Birdie Wing Golf Girls Story coming to Nintendo Switch. Bobby, I know you love anime, and I know you love golf, so
Yes.
this is perfect. Okay, this is literally an anime. It's an anime that is currently airing in its second season. It is fucking the anime itself is fucking wild. It is like Dragon Ball Z meets fucking golf with a bunch of soap opera shit of this woman's being the blonde girl is being chased by the mob. She's like secretly sisters with the dark haired girl. So much crazy shit is going on, and it's one of the best shows. Unimaginably one of the best shows going on in the seasonal anime thing. This game looks boring as hell. Also just looks like they're retelling some stuff from the anime. I can't tell what this game is. It's also a port of a mobile game. So
So it's going to be really good.
I mean, there have been ports of mobile golf games that have turned into good games on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think this is going to be one of them because Clap Hands didn't make this game.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don Papa's in there.
I kind of want to see a little bit more, see some gameplay, but yeah, this looks really boring and not like they're taking any of the cool shit that happens in the show. That's too bad. It's too bad. Moving on the 20th, Aliens Dark Descent is coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Alien has always kind of felt like Warhammer to me. Like you guys brought up Warhammer. We were talking on the quick look, the bulk gun quick look about franchises that feel like they just kind of get farmed out for everything. And we didn't mention it there, but I got reminded. Oh yeah, Aliens. They'll make a fucking Alien game about anything, and
they will.
Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're really bad. What was the co-op shooter that you guys played that you really didn't like?
Oh fuck!
Alien Fire Squad or Fire Team?
Yeah,
or something
like that.
Fire Team Elite or something. Yeah,
it was not good.
Yeah, didn't seem great. This seems maybe good.
Is this a turn-based?
So no, not exactly. It's a real-time strategy game. You can kind of slow time down, but you can't stop it. Okay. And you do give commands to your squad. One of the interesting things that they said in this trailer here is that you give commands to the whole squad, and then the AI of the squad will decide who is best to perform the different actions that you say. So I don't know if it's as simple as...
This does look cool.
Hey, snipe this guy, and then the sniper character on the team does it, or if it's more just, hey, I want you to shoot these aliens from this position, and they decide, oh, well, we're far enough away where the sniper probably has the best shot at this. So I'm very curious to see how it goes. Yeah, other than that, it seems like kind of an XCOM-y thing, or kind of like a Miasma or a Mutant Zero, in that you are taking your Marines and you're outfitting them with different equipment, and it also has permadeath from what they're saying, which sounds interesting because I don't know how you'd get more soldiers on your team. That's not how the movies worked. The movies were you brought one team of people, and those were all you had, and they get picked off one by one. But yeah, I don't know. There have been some really cool Aliens games, as we said. My favorite is still the arcade one, which has never really gotten a port anywhere, unfortunately. That game is so cool. The Alien versus Predator one. But
it's $40 on Steam. I don't know how much it'll be other places, but $40 on Steam. You can pre-order that now.
Yeah. It's one I might check in on when it comes out, because it seems kind of neat.
It reminds me a little bit of The Ascent.
I can see that. Yeah, just tonally and maybe the kind of isometric viewpoint. Yeah, for sure. On the 22nd, Final Fantasy XVI. That's 16 for all you non-Roman folks out there, is coming to the PlayStation 5. Johnny, I think you are the most excited for this. Please tell us why.
Because Final Fantasy, for me, has been a franchise that has felt quite. I think I said this the other week on the show. It's just been like adrift. I thought 13 was not good. I don't care about the MMO, but it's cool that they were able to make that into a fantastic game, and it's cool that they brought in the person who helped turn that around to hopefully do the same thing for the mainline games in the series. And I think the combat looks flashy and fun.
You didn't play Sons of Paradise, right?
No.
Is that what that game was called?
Stranger of Paradise?
Yeah, Stranger of Paradise.
You have to kill chaos? No, I didn't. It's I keep saying I'll buy it when it goes on sale, and I just haven't. But this, like, it's like a dark fantasy world. It's got crystals in it. It's got chocobos. I mean, it's got all the things you want in a Final Fantasy game. Thematically, but okay, Chase. Anyway,
I prefer my Final Fantasies with a little touch of sci-fi in there, and this feels like it is absolutely going more Game of Thrones route, which is fine. Like the fantasy Final Fantasy stuff is okay, but I'm not asking for every game to be 7, but I do like like when stuff has a bit more of a.
You go into orbit in a rocket, so
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I kind of prefer that style of Final Fantasy. I actually really liked the direction they were going for 15. With the party, you still were kind of really just controlling the one guy, but your party was going around. It felt like you had a crew of people.
I like that aspect of it. I kind of just fell off of it after like 20 hours.
I mean, so did I, and I don't even think I gave it 20 hours, but I do. I think I appreciate 15 quite a bit, and this feels like a very extreme departure where they want to go. This is what new Final Fantasy is. This is we're doing a tonal shift here.
It's they're taking a big swing here, and all the impressions and previews and things have seemed pretty positive. And I guess we'll find out later in June.
I really enjoyed
how this turns out.
Remake of 7. The way it played, I thought was great. The combat in 15 was not my concern. Like it didn't bother me none because I don't have a big pedigree with the series, but I just thought it was kind of dull and boring overall. This one, I do like the setting. I think that seems interesting. What has kind of gotten me on guard with this is not the swords, but on guard. Get it? See what I did there?
Nice.
Is more the rumors or the perceptions that people have been walking away with Devil May Cry vibes. And I don't know if I want that style of. I like Hi-Fi Rush quite a bit, which is Devil May Cry-esque, is different enough. But I don't know if I don't think about that gameplay when I think about Final Fantasy, and I didn't think about building shit in a Zelda game, but here we are. So maybe it'll work out and maybe it'll be for the best, but
yeah, I
don't know.
I think that they're taking a calculated risk with this because it's one of the most storied franchises in video games. But it's needed something like this for a long time, and I hope they succeed. I'm very excited because Final Fantasy is one of my favorite series, and I'm hoping to see it back on its perch where it belongs.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm excited for it, but I really do hope it's good. I hope that I'm wrong. I mean, I was kind of feeling the same way about Tears of the Kingdom before this month, where it was like, I'm glad my friends are going to like that game, and I'll just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. And then that game completely sucked me in. So it'd be awesome if Final Fantasy could do the exact same thing. We'll see. We'll see. On the 29th, AEW Fight Forever supposedly comes out. They put out a trailer that said this is the actual fucking date. So it's not just some WrestleQuest. Fingers crossed. We hope we hit that date. This is the actual real deal date. Apparently, it's coming out to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
Are you getting this?
Yeah, I think so. It's been so hyped up that we're going back to that classic old school style of wrestling video game, which is code for we're making No Mercy again. We're taking No Mercy on the N64 and we're prettying it up and we're gonna put it out there. I think the AEW roster has been pretty cool. I'm also really just interested from an academic standpoint to see. One of the really fascinating things with wrestling games is seeing where they kind of have to cut off and go, okay, this is what people's gimmicks were. This is just what they were doing. This is who their characters were, and the storyline keeps going. So like every week something new happens, and they can't put every single new thing that happens into the game. So some people aren't going to be tag teams anymore. Some people aren't going to be in the same factions anymore. So I think with this game being so long in development, I'm really interested to see where they kind of made that cutoff point. I also just really liked those old style of wrestling games. Those are so much fun. The thing that scares me a little bit is that this is developed by Ukes. Ukes has had made quite a few of the WWE games post N64 era, and I found those games to be not very compelling, and it kind of put me off wrestling games for ever. I haven't really picked up any wrestling games since then. Ukes has said, hey, we've kind of been handcuffed by WWE. We wanted to do this with WWE before, and they just said, keep making the same shit you're making because that it sells and we don't want to rock the boat. But part of me goes, that's the team that's made the not great wrestling games in the past.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how you can't have anxiety about that.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we'll see. I think it's the most interesting thing to me is that Chris Jericho and Sting will have been in both those old N64 wrestling games as well as this new one.
Legends.
And they're still going, and at least for Chris Jericho, still going pretty darn well. Sting noticeably slower, but he's also noticeably older than Jericho. All right, a couple more here. On the 30th, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. This game had been previously ported to iOS, but it started out life as a Nintendo DS game.
Huh.
I'd always heard this game was really cool. I think it is by one of the creators or the creator of Phoenix Wright. It does kind of have a visual novelty style. I mean, this is more like a puzzle adventure game, but it does have some visual novel style elements to it. Just some really neat. Hey, you're going from inanimate object to inanimate object. You are, as the title says, like you are a ghost detective. You are dead. But that also gives you the ability to move through these different objects and solve puzzles and change the fates of things that are going on. I from what I heard from people who know more than me about it, is that it's got really good writing. It's just really inventive and fun. I feel like I remember people talking about this in the same breath that they were oh shit! Why can't I remember the name? The Square RPG where it's all about fashion.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Fuck. The one that Kingdom Hearts is technically going into that universe, or not exactly, but
Fashion?
Yeah, it's like all about being on the streets of Shibuya, and they made a sequel for the Switch.
I don't know, Chase.
Yeah, no idea,
just
dude.
type in Square Enix RPGs and I'll eventually get to it, I guess. God, it's gonna piss me off that I don't know that I do these by title. There we go. Starts with an N, I'm pretty sure. Not Nino Cooney.
We're gonna be
it's
here a
not
while,
Neo
folks.
We are. I'm in the K's. We're getting here. The World Ends with You. Neo, The World Ends with You is the Switch
okay.
one. Yeah, The World Ends with You. Which was another game that was on a DS and has been moved into the Switch and other consoles as a single screen game. So I'm interested to see similarly how this game will transition. I mean, they've already done that work to switch it to iOS, but I am interested to see how something like the PS4, PS5 are going to have this game play, because it was very heavily touch controls on the DS, and I assume the iOS version as well. I wonder if the Switch is going to retain those touch controls, or if it's going to have a controller style too.
Sure.
Also, there's a little adorable dog. So, what else do you want? All right,
You got
one
everything you need.
last one. We don't have a trailer for it. We shouldn't have a trailer for it. It's terrible. It doesn't deserve to be shown. Crime
I'm
Boss.
showing it. I'm doing it.
Go ahead. Crime Boss Rockay City, finally, so anticipated, is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X sometime this month. To be announced. They have right now. Man, I watched a review that somebody did about this game. Maybe it was when Johnny was telling me about Skill Up. But was it a Skill Up review? I can't remember.
It seems so bad.
Yeah, like even the person who was reviewing it was like, hey, it kind of had the same reaction that I do, of like, this game's obviously bad, but I want to get into it and find, maybe I'll find something from this. Maybe it'll be dumb fun. And they're like, it wasn't dumb fun. It was just kind of bad. Yeah, like, this game's like a roguelike in a way.
Yeah.
But it has kind of a big tutorial, or at least like lead up, and if you die, you have to go through all that shit again. Just seems like a lot of really bad game design in here. Apparently you also have to watch all these cutscenes again, which, I mean, if I got all these people to do these cutscenes, you're goddamn right you're gonna watch them all. We
Spend
didn't
my
get
money.
Glover for nothing. Yeah,
it looks terrible.
I still, if this game goes down to like $15, I want to conscript Bobby and maybe Johnny as well and say, fuck it, we're all gonna play.
Put it on Game Pass, Xbox.
Yeah, sure. If it goes on Game Pass, I will play this video game and have a bad time. But
that's got to be up there for like worst game names of all time, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's no
Crime Boss.
It's no hang on. It's no Slayers X Terminal Aftermath. I'm sorry, Slayers X : Terminal Aftermath : Vengeance of the Slayer.
It's no Quiet Man.
Oh, Quiet Man.
Well,
damn it. All right. You've heard the games. I mean, that's a selection of games. That's not everything that's coming out this month. I you know what? There could have been a lot more anime, but I spared you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Because I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for that.
So, with all of the games that we've seen and heard about, it's time for us to make some picks, stake our reputations on how we feel like these video games are going to perform. Johnny, why don't you go first? What are the games that you think are going to be good in the month of June?
I'm looking forward to that Diablo 4.
Sure.
At Final Fantasy 16 and Dordon.
Very nice. Bobby, what do you got?
Most of what Johnny has, Diablo 4, Dordon, and I will be checking out Final Fantasy as well. But I want to pick up that Bleak Sword DX. That game was really cool, and I definitely want to go back to it for sure.
I'm excited to watch the quick look of that with you.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a fun one for sure.
Yep.
And then I'm going to try out that AEW game. I hope it's good. I really do hope it's good. And then I too, with my little French teacup, am going to play Dordogne.
Hell yeah.
So that'll be fun. I hope we all pick up Dordogne and really enjoy it, because that'd be really cool. We don't play enough of the same games. I mean, we all played Zelda, but it is nice when we all play a game and can all have opinions on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's one of the things I like about what those Next Laner dudes do. They try to rotate in games that they're all playing for that. And it makes
you guys can just play whatever's on my backlog roulette. We can all play Codename Steam and have a bad time. You're welcome to.
Nah. I love Jiggy, but nah. If you want to check out some of the stuff that we've got going on outside of the show, we've had a pretty fun week. And by that, I mean, we did not stream on Monday. We continued the holiday and relaxed. I got caught up on a few other tasks around here. But we were going to stream the Miasma Chronicles. We'll probably get around to that maybe next week or following. We do have a quick look up for What the Car. That is the spiritual successor follow-up next in line to What the Golf. It's very dumb. That quick look was a good time as well. Of course, you know about the June games because of this tonight. Tomorrow, we've got a quick look going up of that Humanity game that we like a whole lot. And then Johnny and I will be going straight to hell on Friday night where we will be taking on Diablo 4. Chase, what about you, friend? What are you up to?
I've got another podcast I do with a good friend of the show, Pierce Corshane. It's called Pilot Program, where we watch the first episode of every television show ever made. We were going to be recording this week, and then Pierce had to reschedule. So I think we're going to be recording next week. That'll be our episode on The Shield. I gave you the sneak peek before. I'll give you the sneak peek again. I think that show fucking sucks. But we'll talk about The Shield and we'll do it. But we've done a lot of other really fun episodes. Sailor Moon we did recently. We did Deadwood relatively recently. That's been really fun to just go through shows I either know or have never seen and get to talk about them with a good friend. It's just a fun show. You can find it on shows.acast.com/pilotprogram. Come join. It's a good time.
Awesome. Chase, thanks for putting this together. You always do a great job with it. This is a ton of fun going over those games. Come back on Friday night. Hang out with Johnny and I where we'll be streaming. Take care, everybody.
See ya.